Yeah. It,
There we go.
hey,
Yeah,
thanks for the promotion. What's the pay scale?
So now we're coming up to
Double what it was.
to the meeting today, and to Roland. Roland is a new member, and he wants to tell us something about his classification. Welcome.
Thank you. If I'm a co-host, can I share my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Then give me just one moment.
Do I need to do something for that, or
You probably need to grant him access, Ron.
no? That
should work already. So let's see whether this is working.
Yes.
Can you see this, this screen? Okay, so this is my interpretation of a classification talk, because I actually don't know what it is. But any invitation I get to talk and talk about myself, I'll take. So here we go. Where to begin? Well, my story starts in a small town in Germany, where I was born, the middle child, in the very fruitful years, the height of the baby boom in Germany, 1962, 63, and 64. Always a snappy dresser, I managed to wear a tie both on my first and on my last day of schooling. After which I volunteered for the German army during the height of the Cold War. And I did it for the German PSYOPs, tasked with creating radio programs for Warsaw Pact soldiers, who at the same time were trying to reach the Rhine in 7 days. I got to participate in the NATO exercise called Able Archer in 1983, and anybody interested in how close we came to the Third World War can look into that. From there, I proceeded to my alma mater, the Julius Maximilian University in Würzburg, where I studied business. But to be honest, and this is about the four-way test, I spent a lot more time studying politics. We formed the first reserve officer club at the German university. And I studied parties and, to be quite honest, the female anatomy at those parties as well. After 2 years, I left the country as part of an exchange program for 1 year to the business school at the University at Albany, where I continued my engagement. We formed a graduate student association, and I assumed very important positions. So important that they offered me a teaching assistant position and to complete the MBA program at the University at Albany, where I met a fellow student who I started to spend an awful lot of time with, and not only because she had a computer with a color screen, but we spent 20 hours a day working together in our graduate program. Well, one of the things that she did is she started to get me running. We formed a business school running team, and not doing things halfway, we started to run marathons. We did the New York City Marathon half a dozen times, and managed in that half a dozen time to run in the hottest, the coldest, and the wettest New York City Marathon. We did manage to graduate, after which we juggled our teaching positions with applying for jobs, and we posted more than 200 rejection letters around our apartment that we received. But we made a deal, and that deal was that whoever got the better job, the other one would move there as well and try to find a job. Well, eventually I did find a job with a agency that represented German, Austrian, Italian, and Spanish manufacturers. And you may ask what that has to do with Donald Trump's The Art of the Deal. Thank you for asking. The picture on the right was taken at the Taj Mahal casino in Atlantic City. And the chandeliers in the background were made by a company that we supplied with hand-cut lead crystal from an Austrian manufacturer pictured on the bottom left. As described, quite frankly, in The Art of the Deal, the Trump organization refused to pay the remaining 30% of the contract at its end and prevented me from voting for Mr. Trump when he was on my ballot 4 times in the last couple of years. Instead, Kay and I decided to get married. It was a somewhat funny ceremony at the municipal building in New York, after which we proceeded straight to the New York County Supreme Court steps, where I asked the friendly bailiff to handcuff us together symbolically, following the mantra of my father with regard to marriage. For most crimes, I'd be out, but he didn't mean it. He passed away last year, being happily married for almost 60 years to my mother. That time period was followed by what I call the lost decade. I wasn't very happy with my job. It failed to live up to the 4-way test, although I didn't know that test existed. And so instead, I looked for another opportunity. And in 1991, I acquired the distribution rights for an LCD programmable keyboard in the United States. And a couple of years after that, participated in a management buyout of that manufacturer. That started a 5-year time period where I commuted between the United States and Germany. Every 8 weeks, I would go from one side to the other. And I have absolutely zero recollection of popular culture during that time period. I did acquire an awful lot of mileage on all kinds of airlines, but with one airline, I managed to acquire 1 million miles. The ups and downs of business, we live through, and we always say we ought to write a book, but we never have time to do anything like that. Eventually, we divested part of our SMT manufacturing side to a Dutch company and sold our LCD business to an Irish company. A couple of years later, my partner and I offered to take the LCD business, which we ran, private, which they declined. And so we left and formed our own company, something that we are still doing to this day. And right now we are on the 4th generation of switches that we are going to release later on this year. So we started out doing programmable keyboards that had LCD function keys. We wrote the height and the lows of the telecom bubble and the internet bubble. And we continued to do business primarily with the broadcasting industry. So my old radio days are still with me. We are providing equipment manufacturers for the TV and broadcast industry. That keeps me somewhat busy, but I like to do a lot of other things. But to be honest, many of those things are aspirational rather than experiential. And part of Rotary and part of me being a member of this club is that I want to change this from things that I want to do to things that I actually do. Those who have followed my talk on my walk across the north of Spain know that I have started this journey, but I've done bits and pieces over the years. but as is my habit, I always have higher goals. So I've hiked the north rim of the canyon. I've hiked the south rim of the canyon, but my goal has always been to hike from the north rim to the south rim in one day. An aspiration that I'm still working on. My favorite hike is a hike in Zion National Park called Angel's Landing. And it is a beautiful place to be and get out in the middle of nature. And as I said, I aspire to do a lot of things. I will try anything at least once. But in many cases, my dream of getting a pilot's license and owning an airplane is still a dream. It is something that I hope over the next couple of years I can turn some of those aspirations into actions. And did I mention that I'm an Ironman? No, not the one in Hawaii. I am ironing my shirts personally. I own about 60 of them. They are color coordinated, and I have half of them in Germany and half of them in the United States. And that's why the shirt, our new club shirt, is freshly ironed right before this meeting. It's about dinner time here. So if anybody is hungry, that is a good thing because I love to cook, preferably immediately followed by eating. And for that, I have built my dream kitchen. Typical for me, I planned this kitchen for 10 years. So everything in that kitchen is exactly where I planned it to be. And I practice cooking copious amounts of food whenever I get an opportunity. So for all of those who are into food porn, here is a little sampling of some of the dishes that I do. But my signature pieces are grilled romaine lettuce with Parmesan cheese and frozen red wine vinegar, and pulled pork with kimchi on a glazed donut. So if your mouth is watering, later on an invitation will follow. So how did I get onto my Rotary journey? I heard about Rotary basically all my life, but never had a real idea of what it was until I ran for office. Although I made the front page of my German hometown newspaper, I have the distinction of having received the lowest vote count in any election that I stood in, including the one I won. So what does that have to do with Rotary? Well, the guy I ran against for borough council was a member of this brand new club, the Rotary Club of the Palisades, that had formed in our town, and part of my opposition research required that I attend a meeting. And I met at a diner, and there was a very friendly bunch of people that had very interesting speakers and were involved with water filter projects in the Dominican Republic. And before I knew it, I had lost the election and became a member. Got involved with all different kinds of things that we are doing in our club, from collecting used bicycles for Pedals for Progress. Our signature project is a snack pack program for food insecure children in our elementary schools. We are covering 3 towns. We pack, on the left-hand side, you see a Halloween Against Hunger effort to pack 35,000 meals in a single day. And I've gone through all the different offices in our club. I've been president for 2 years. I'm currently shelter box ambassador for our district. And when Corona hit, I built a small studio in my office, and for 90 days straight put on a nightly 7 p.m. program that was streamed over Zoom and broadcast out the window for all the people that were stuck at home and needed a little uplifting experience. But the thing that that I'm probably known most about is an annual Oktoberfest fundraiser that started as a simple family cookout in the backyard, and then we invited friends and more friends, and we turned it into a Rotary fundraiser. And 22 years later, it has totally gotten out of hand. We are now in the center of town with 500 to 700 guests every year. And we raise significant amounts of money for our snack pack program. And we are an officially sanctioned beer stemming contest that we hold every year and award a trophy to the winner. And when COVID hit, we didn't stop. We actually put on with a neighboring district in New York a virtual Oktoberfest with input from Munich, with live performances, with me providing a video cooking show for Bavarian food, and we managed to invite a couple of friends to the backyards and hold the beer stemming contest. So there is a 2020 beer stemming champion with an asterisk. And after doing all of that for a number of years, I decided that I needed to do more and do more for myself and fulfill something that I've always wanted to do. So for my 50th birthday, I gifted to me a motorcycle license. And a couple of years later, I acquired a 2007 used Honda VT750 Dark Shadow as my training bike. And since then, I've gone on a number of rides, both locally and with my fellow Rotarians. The Windy the Windy Nines, as I thought it was pronounced, and then I figured out it's windy. And it is time to take the training wheels off. So as part of my name in the future, you will see my new motorcycle, a brand new 2021 BMW R1250 RT, a motorcycle that I've always wanted to own. It is literally brand new. It has 469 miles on it. My longest ride is 206 miles. And after this weekend, it has to go in for the first service. Which brings me to my last point. I would like to invite you to a 2-day ride, 3 states, New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania, in my backyard, where you can have beautiful views of New York. The most beautiful views are from the Jersey side. And should we get caught in a rain shower, this can happen, what happened to me on one of my first rides. The skyline of New York appears through a double rainbow. But the ride itself would lead us up the Hudson River Valley and across the Ramapo Mountains. The picture on the top is taken from the Bear Mountain Tower, where in the far distance, you can see the skyline of Manhattan. while you're riding through the beautiful countryside of the Palisades Interstate Park, Harriman State Park, and Bear Mountain itself. And on the second day, we could go on the Skyline Drive, take a break under a super constellation at the Greenwood Lake Airport before proceeding to the High Point State Park, the highest point in New Jersey, and then moving on to the famous Hawk's Nest, a scenic ride through the upper Delaware River Valley. So that is my invitation to the club, and I saw the email from Larry earlier today that you want to have more rides during your year. So this is one ride that I would like to help organize or lead. I need a little bit help from people who have more experience organizing rides. But this is what I'd like to propose if the club and the International Fellowship is interested. So this is a little bit about me. Whether it's enough for a classification, I have no idea. My entire life, I have tried not to be classified.
I can totally understand that. So thank you very much for that. And by the way, I would like to go on the ride because it's exactly the area my husband coming from.
Wow.
And he was the first youngest club president from Englewood because Leonia had no Rotary Club at this time. So this is why he was going to Englewood.
Well, he's a neighbor.
Yes, exactly. He was growing up in Leonia. So that's,
Wonderful.
But it brought him to Texas. He says all the time, as fast.
Tell him I'm on my way.
That's a good idea.
I lost another election in November, so I might be on my way.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Dates for your ride? Roland, do you have dates for your ride?
No, this is one of the things that I would like to talk to someone who has more experience putting this on, regarding all the logistics of putting on a ride.
You can go to the IFMR website, and I think there's something there for planning a ride.
Okay, will do.
And the other thing is, look for the best. This is what I try to do for for example, we want to make a polio ride at the September 25th, because September is a good, it's a better way to make it in Texas. Other than maybe for you, it's good to make it in August, because then it's pretty warm also, but you have it already, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for me, September is always difficult because it's Oktoberfest time and it's an all hands on deck time. The weather tends to be very good in late September, early October in this area, or you would have to do it sometime in the spring. Right now, I've been trying to do a 200-mile ride for the last couple of weekends, but every weekend it's raining, so it wouldn't be any fun to go out.
We have the same already here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a good idea with the springtime, so it gives you enough time. Pick a weekend, and then we can help you. No problem with that.
I've asked my local Rotary Club to host an evening for all participants. And one of the questions I have is of how big one of those rides would be, and whether we would invite local riders, because at some point you need permits and you need to have the local police departments involved. So I don't think I'm ready for that.
And it's no fun, actually. If the group is too big, it's not that fun. So if you, I can only tell you from the biggest ride, what I did was with the local BMW club. And what they like to do is they split the groups, so they have a meeting point, And then on the meeting point, they split the groups in, is it an experienced rider? Is it more a slow rider? Is it more a sport rider? In this kind of groups, and then they have from the club or some of people they want to help you, and of course you have the route on from your navigation system. You can share with them, special the BMW. You can share, and so you have more than one people they know the route and they go with them. So you can split it with experience.
Yep. Good idea.
This worked very well. So everybody, and you meet on meeting points. So for example, if you have a gas station where you know when you have a small Harley Davidson with a small tank, after 90-100 miles you need a gas station, so that you can have that, something like that. But there are some other things. So, and there's some information for you in the chat I already saw.
Hey, Roland, I'm going to put my cell phone number in the chat, and anybody can pick it up, but I'm going to put my cell phone number in, and you can call me, and I'd be happy to chat with you about organizing a ride. My initial thoughts are, include your regional director and assistant director in your planning so that they're aware of what's going on, and just move forward. You don't need to seek permission from anybody. Just go do it.
All right.
And there's always something happen, so don't worry. You get your experience how often you make this ride. So only start. It cannot be that bad anymore.
I'm also interested in participating in the ride to Houston for the convention. So I'll be, if I read your email correctly, the regional directors are in charge of organizing that. So.
Yeah, they're either in charge or they'll delegate to somebody. I'm not gonna twist their arm, so yeah, either the regional director will lead it and plan it, or delegate it to somebody who's interested in getting it done. But I think that's going to be really important to promote the fellowship, promote riding, promote membership, is to get an organized ride from your region to Houston. And we will also announce it internationally. I suspect, and Ute, you may know some more than I do, but I suspect that there will be Rotarians from, I suspect Europe for sure. I suspect Australia for sure, but Rotarians who might fly into either the East Coast or the West Coast or wherever, and could join in with the ride. So I have high hopes and dreams, and all I can do is encourage and push and twist some arms, and hopefully it'll happen.
Larry, I was on a call earlier today with some folks from India, and they have interest in being in that ride as well. So, and interestingly enough, another fellowship, RGHF, which stands for Rotary Global History Fellowship, is planning a visit to the home of Paul Harris. So we could do a ride out to Chicago to see Paul Harris's home, and then ride from Chicago down to Houston. So just another opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we have already a hotel in Houston, Roland. So what I found, it's a little bit outside the loop, but you can rent a room for $109, included breakfast. And it's a gated area. So if you write down, this was something what was for me more important, that we are safe and we can celebrate. So I booked already my own room for that, even if I'm living in the area, but to stay with you guys and and have a fun time. And then after the convention, we have a ride to the hill country also, if you want to participate.
My wife actually went to the University of Houston. So we have friends in the Houston area. I used to represent a German company that relocated to Houston. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm not sure whether we're going to stay at the hotel or whether we're going to stay with friends.
Yeah, whatever. It's only an opportunity. Yeah. Great.
Ute, how many rooms are left in the room block?
I have not actual numbers, but I have 257 rooms, and I know that few from the club already booked it. We had a little bit an issue with the booking code because it only let us make the reservation for during the convention, but I blocked it 3 days before and 3 days after the convention also, and but I know there is around 50 now.
Yeah, and that's my next big email to put together, is an email about the convention. And Ute, I'll work with you to get the right language and to put the correct link to the Houston hotel, as well as links and information about the post-convention ride to Hill Country. Kind of put it all into one email. So
yeah,
that's my next thing to-do list.
And the other thing would be necessary also is because my husband is the chair of the host events, and he's with Rotary International the whole day today. So and they changed something what we didn't want. It's with the bus. Normally it was like that you can use a bus system if you have a badge from the convention, but like Hamburg had that. But Rotary International didn't agree with that because they have a shuttle service for all the hotels they have contracts with. So, but I will figure a way out, maybe, that we go only to one of the to the closest hotels of the host hotel. And then we are also, go to the convention center, something like this. And he's working already today on it, that we can have a parking spot on the convention for the motorcycles. So this is what he's doing today. So, and I will let you know as soon as I have that. So yeah, there's a lot of things coming up. Of course, the Rotary International Convention is a big thing for me because of all the logistic stuff. So I'm pretty happy that you organizing the ride to come to that. And I already have a contact to the Harris County Police Office, the motorcycle office. And I will talk with one of the officers soon because of the, what they want for an escort for us when we're riding all together. And I know already people from Germany. One guy, Stefan Stein, he's going to, no, not Stefan Stein, Stefan Frick is going to Canada. His son lives in Canada, and he wants to go with the Canadian guys down to Houston with a motorcycle. And I know that a lot of the chapter Switzerland, Germany, because I was in the meeting with them from the IFMR, they want to come over as well. But everybody's from Europe is a little bit, concerned because of the situation with COVID, and they are afraid if that is coming again, that they cannot be coming over because of the situation with COVID. But with the hotel I spoke, so if the convention is will be canceled, then we have enough time with no fees to cancel also the rooms. So don't be worried about that. So we have 3 months before starting the convention where this time is running out, and we have to pay something. But if they cancel the in-person convention, nothing has happened. So the contract is then not, how you say it, ungültig. What's the word for ungültig, Roland?
Void?
Invalid.
Void?
Invalid. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I talk with them. So don't wait until booking. Book as soon as you can if you want to stay in the hotel, because we have an own bar area down there. We have an own pool area down there. One asked it because one of the people they want to stay there asked because they said it's so hot in Houston, we need a pool. And I said we will have a pool. It's already in, so that will be fine.
Hey, Larry, I was thinking, and this is not me volunteering to do this, just an idea, which is to create a special flag that we could fly on our motorcycles for the IFMR at the Houston convention.
That would be great.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
All of us have the same flag on our motorcycle.
Yes. So I do it with polio. We have all the time when I make the polio ride, everybody gets a polio flag from me. Most
Yeah.
of the time we have 2 flags in the back, so it's always fun.
Okay. I made note of it.
Just an idea, and I'm not volunteering.
Great idea. Maybe with all the same shirts also.
That would be fun too. You know, if we could create some gear, you know,
Mhm,
around the convention and make it special,
mhm.
that only the people that attend get this stuff, might be a lot of fun.
Yes,
I want to say memorial, but that's not the right word. I'm trying to think of the right word.
that we can say we was there, right?
Yeah.
Fine. Good idea. Mhm, I like that part. So if anybody have any questions.
Commemorative, that's the word I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
So
So if anybody have some more questions for Roland. Thank you for the offer, by the way, for the ride, and I really appreciate that. And yes, I like it, really. I think it's good to be in another area and somebody's there who show us because this is the reason why we all riding, right? To see the different kind of areas, meet a bunch of nice people. They have the same passion than we have. I think this is the best ever.
So Ute, if I could say, I've listened to a couple of classification talks during my time with Rotary, and I got to tell you, Roland, I think yours is one of the best that I've heard. So thank you so much for sharing with us.
I not even had a classification talk.
Yes, I had no idea what a classification talk is. Our club doesn't classify people, so it was a blank slate for me.
No, you know, I asked the other time, or a couple of meetings before, and I was like, you know, I met the people here, but I not know really the people. And then Jerry told something about what he did, and he said, you know, I'm doing this and this for business. And I said, I don't know that. And I think, you know, if we know more about each other, because I'm, for example, I can only speak for myself, I'm a completely networker. So if I, for example, know somebody who do something, even if I have no I don't work the same or whatever, but I can connect people very fast. And this is why I said, maybe it's pretty interesting to know what Roland is doing, what Larry is doing or did, or what John Cramp is doing, whatever. So because I know them, only what we're talking most of the time here is about writing. And this is good, but it's also nice to know the people a little bit better. And we have only the Zoom. We have no time to, you know, spend before the meeting or in front of the meeting to talk with each other and find things out, you know, and that's pretty sad. So I was looking for a possibility how we can do that, and they called it classification talk.
My club does a similar thing, and we coined a word. We call it percational. So per as in personal, cational as in vocational. So it's a combination of your personal life and your work life. And we usually do it for about 10 minutes. So it's not in place of a speaker, it's in addition to a speaker.
Limiting me to 10 minutes has not succeeded in 30 years. Many have tried.
Roland, all 2 hours though, it was really entertaining.
I like the pictures from the, you know, when you're sitting in the Kinderwagen, you know.
Yes. Yes.
I know that pretty well.
It's also, I instituted something similar in our club. We call it the Rotarian You Never Knew, where members talk about something that is not common knowledge, even for people who know them, some special hobby, some special interest, some life experience. One of the things that it does is it requires you to go down memory lane and reflect on some things. The art of the deal thing, and how back then, the reason I quit my first job was because I could not square it with what I now would identify as the principles of the four-way test. There were a number of ethical situations with the company that I was working with that I wasn't comfortable with. So forced me to think back about on those things. So.
Yeah, I was in a club installation in the president's installation last time with my husband, and there was a guy. He came to me in front of the meeting and asked me for my classification, and I said to him, "I have none." The only thing what I have is I'm riding motorcycle, but I'm not working in a business over here, you know. So I had a business in Germany, but not over here. So
Aren't you the CEO of your household, Ute?
I what?
The CEO of your household?
What is the CEO?
Chief Executive Officer.
Of course. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I try to keep my husband's bag clean, you know, so I make all the paper stuff. It's not that I'm not doing something, but I get not paid for that. This is what I say all the time, you know, so I'm not bored at all. Yeah.
You work for a nonprofit, I think is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, in two ways. So no, but it's, you know, it's my business. What I had, I was an insurance specialist in Germany, and I was working with independent agents together in the outside sales, and that was, I loved it. I really loved it, and I did it with my motorcycle too, by the way. So one time I came with my business suit, you know, really traditional, how the people are expecting that. And when I knew they was riding or whatever, next time I came with motorcycle and my laptop in my side bag, you know, something like that. So it was nice, and I really enjoyed it. It was a pretty nice life, but insurance business in America is for me not the same. And I get some offers to work in this, but no, it's a completely different system. And the insurance companies here try everything to not pay, you know, and this is something what I not like. So, and this is why I decided, no, this is not mine. And when I have to start a new life, then I make something completely different. And right now, I have not found anything already what I like, but it's never too late. So I said, I will not say, this is a good thing in America. You can work how long you want and how long you have fun on it. And maybe I will find something after my Rotary year as a president. So we will see. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, we're about to be empty nest. You might have seen my comment that just today our 18-year-old passed his motorcycle permit test, and a week or two ago he passed the California rider course. So
Yeah,
we're kind of, you know, pushing him out of the nest. He's got a job. He starts at Starbucks August 9th. I'm like, why can't it be sooner? But anyway, his first job for tax purposes. And so once we get them adulting, I'm kind of looking, Uta, like you, at what's the next steps? You know, what does my life look like after empty nest?
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully getting back on this beautiful machine behind me more often.
Watch out for the boomerang, Scott.
Oh yeah, I told him I'd move before that happened. Just come back to the house. What? Different people, you know?
The bad thing
is he your youngest?
Yeah.
So it's the last one? You
Yes.
have to pick out.
Yep. Yeah, the 20-year-old already has the message very clear. You can't live here anymore. You know, you can always come back to visit. But yeah.
That was what my brother did with his two girls, because they didn't want to move out, and he told them, okay, you have to go now, it's time, you know. So, and it's sometimes, but it's good when you have a good relationship and they like to be with you. It's also nice, you know. So we forget the happy minutes today when we started, you know. Normally we make some happy minutes. So this was Scott happy minutes that, you know, he get his youngest son going forward, right? I have another one. Our grandchild from Long Island will arrive tomorrow afternoon.
Exciting.
Yeah, my husband have 3 kids, and they all it's a twin couple, a boy and a girl, and the older sister, and she have 2 kids, and Ariana is 11, and she will arrive with her aunt tomorrow for a week. So this is why more than often in this area, Roland also, because we had a company over there in front of the doors from New York, and I think the highway is number 17 or something when I right remember.
Yep.
And my brother-in-law lived in Wanakee, so maybe you know that too. But they just put everything from the company to North Carolina in New Bern. They moved to New Bern 2.5 years ago with everything, and I think it was not a bad decision to do that. So, but the kids living still in Long Island, and so we have our grandchild over here for a week, and we're leaving to San Antonio at Friday. And how Keith said correctly, we're going to the river walk.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's pretty brutal right now, hot, and it's thunderstorming every day. So the last weekends, it's still hot, but it's raining all the time. What you said, when you want to ride, when you want to go on a ride, and it's raining all the time on the weekends. It's raining this year, so we have not much miles on the bike already.
Still can. It's okay.
No, but I would like to go. I miss that, you know.
Me, I'm just working too much.
But it's
Yeah.
it's not nice with thunderstorms anyway. Rain, I don't care, you know, but thunderstorms. Yeah.
I want to hear what other folks are up to. People, you're all quiet today.
Yeah.
I can give a happy dollar. Last weekend, my wife and I spent time down on both Carolina beaches. We stayed with some friends in Ocean Isle Beach, which is one of the most southern beaches in North Carolina. And we had a family reunion to go to in Pawleys Island, which is just south of Myrtle Beach. And we had 42 people at the family reunion. So
wow, big family.
Yeah, it was just one side of the family, or actually one cousin's side of the family. So
Cool. That was fun. It's a pretty area to ride.
Yep.
Ron, are you getting some riding in lately?
Little bit. We're taking off tomorrow. We're just going to go up to Frazier Park, which is, it's about a 300-mile ride. We'll go up there for lunch with some friends and
Nice.
come back. So it's kind of, I don't know if you've been up Highway 33 from over towards Ojai. Familiar with that?
I've been on that.
Yeah. But if you take off from that about midway before you get up into the mountains, it'll take you up to Frazier Park and join up with Highway 5. And that's a pretty ride. It's a lot of sandy corners, but other than that.
Kind of riding through the desert to be expected. Yeah.
Yeah. I was curious when Glenn gets his new bike.
Yes, Glenn. Did you all heard the story from Glenn?
No, would love to.
No? Glenn, can you tell your story for yourself? Wait.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
That would be nice. Thank you.
I was getting ready to leave work and I got a phone call from the BMW Foundation that one of the chances that I took on a new motorcycle, I won it.
Congrats.
And,
Nice.
I opted for the money rather than the bike because I could just go out and buy the bike. But I like what I got, and I think I'm going to stick with it and just do what modifications I want to do on this bike.
Nice.
And
So that was the drawing they did at the rally in Great Falls.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was there at the rally in Great Falls. I had my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there also, and we didn't run into anybody that we knew, but
he wanted to ask Ron, right? He wanted to ask BMW, and then last time Glenn told the story. And can you tell them what you was winning? What kind of motorcycle you was winning, Glenn?
It was I think it was a S1000R, which is a roadster.
Yeah.
It's not the race bike, but it's just a step down from the race bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty nice, right? And
You know,
Ron wanted it too. That was so funny last time. And he said, I wanted to call the MOA.
yeah, my wife wanted to take it off your hands, but you know, that's That's
An old guy like
she's
that
scary
doesn't need
enough with
a,
what she rides.
an old guy like me doesn't need to get a race bike.
No, but it's nice, you know. I'm the same. I never was winning something, anything, you know. So it's nice to, nobody who won it.
Yeah, that's
And
fun.
in the
That's the only
club,
thing I've ever won.
but
Yeah,
not
I was
bad.
in a,
Fantastic.
I was supporting a fundraiser for many years. It had to do with pediatric brain tumor research, and it was sponsored by Honda. And I've been for many years and decided to invite a friend along. So the friend came along and he won the motorcycle in the raffle.
I've known.
Larry,
I've
you
known,
talk about that. I won it 2 years, 1 year, then an off year, and the third year, I won it again.
Mhm.
I was at a convention one time, and one of the truck drivers that came in to haul the merchandise back to the factory, he was the last one to get a chance on a Harley Davidson, and darned if he didn't win it. So you never know.
Yeah,
Somebody's got to win.
Yeah. Hey,
maybe
but,
somebody over here will take the bike. You know, you never know.
I think that's the third year the foundation had that big rally or big lottery, and I've been in it each year. So hey, it's worth it to me.
Great.
We've never won anything, but we took advantage of their offer to help fund the one of the classes. So we did the Street Master class at the rally, and they paid. We got 2 checks for $49 for that. So that was kind of nice.
You see, we have a lot of BMW riders in our group, Roland. It's like everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you guys for the meeting. And I would like to ask Roland to be our 4-way test leader for tonight.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial